Right now at noon, what impacts are being felt as the House returns to Washington to vote on a deal to end the partial government shutdown? Plus, will we have 6 more weeks of winter, or is spring on the way? Punxsutawney Phil and Sun Prairie Jimmy revealed their Groundhog Day predictions. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Spreiter. Right now in Rock County, 2 people are in custody for a shooting in Beloit that put 1 person in the hospital. It happened Saturday night around 9:30. Police responded to Skyline Drive near the Telfer Park baseball field for reports of shots fired. Officers arrested a minor for first-degree attempted homicide, attempted robbery, and reckless endangering safety. They also arrested an 18-year-old on an armed robbery charge. A woman is in critical condition after a snowmobile crash this weekend on Lake Koshkonong. First responders were sent to the lake near North Shore Road late Sunday morning. The woman was found 500 yards offshore on the ice. Emergency personnel were able to reach her by UTV and provide medical assistance. She was then flown by MedFlight to the hospital. No other injuries have been reported. Now to that partial government shutdown, which is vastly different from the record closure in the fall. Some departments have funding, but several others do not. Consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn breaks down where you could feel the impact most.
The departments without funding include Health and Human Services, Education, Transportation, Housing and Urban Development, the IRS, Defense, State, and the Department of Labor. Now, they must all stop non-essential work. Essential workers are expected to continue without pay. That's including air traffic controllers and TSA. You'll remember during the last shutdown, this caused major delays at airports nationwide. Unlike the shutdown this past fall, federal agencies and programs like nutrition assistance or SNAP, for example, will not be affected and continue to operate through September. The Supplemental Nutrition Program for Women, Infants, and Children, known as WIC, will also not be affected. The House Rules Committee is convening today at 4 p.m., and that's the last stop before it goes to the House floor.
Michelle Renee, thank you. You can wake up with Michelle Renee Quinn every Saturday and Sunday on weekend mornings right here on Channel 3. Well, to kick off Black History Month, the Wisconsin Alumni Association hosted Legacy and Libations, an event celebrating the Black community in Madison. This year's theme, Taking Flight, highlights UW-Madison's student project and small alumni-owned businesses. One of those projects, Soul Folk Collective, is a new research department at UW that centers and documents the stories of Madison's Black community.
The University of Wisconsin-Madison is a major institution in our state. It's a forefront university in research and academics, and so we thought it was really important to highlight the work of Black Badgers, both students who are actively at the university, as well as the excellence that has come out of the university with our alumni and their businesses.
The Black Affinity Group was created to connect Black alumni, providing opportunities for engagement, discussion, and mentorship with current students. More events are happening this month. On the 13th, the Black Business Hub is hosting its Black Love event. That is from 5 to 8, and it's free. On the 21st, the Madison Black Chamber of Commerce is hosting Minding My Black-Owned Business. This is a market featuring 40 local vendors from 12 to 3 at the Elver Park Neighborhood Center. UW-Madison and the Overture Center are both hosting a full program of events centered around Black History Month as well. Sun Prairie's most famous weather forecaster is giving people hope that warmer temperatures will be here sooner rather than later. Early this morning, people gathered in Cannery Square for the 78th annual Groundhog Day prognostication. There, Jimmy the Groundhog predicted an early spring. According to the National Weather Service, Jimmy the Groundhog has a 65% accuracy rating when it comes to his predictions. Meanwhile, over in Pennsylvania, Punxsutawney Phil is predicting 6 more weeks of winter after seeing his shadow. At least 2 other famous groundhogs, Staten Island Chuck from New York and Chuckles from Connecticut, also saw their shadows this morning, predicting 6 more weeks of winter. I'm going to go with Jimmy the Groundhog. I want spring. Here's a look at your first warned forecast now with meteorologist Jacob Montesano, which we'll say is much more accurate than any groundhog, but it's still all fun.
Let's take Jimmy's word for it because he's closer to home. But despite all of that, we did see some of those snow flurries this morning. Right now, pretty much clearing out of the area, but there's still some light flurries for areas to the east, but don't expect to see much falling snow throughout the rest of the day. Looking at the forecast, we actually will see cloudy skies become partly sunny, but then we could see another round of some light flurries once we get past sunset and into the early overnight hours. Similar to this morning, not expected to see much accumulation, if any, but some passing flurries will be possible again, clearing out by Tuesday morning. Now, as far as temperatures goes, right now we are in the 20s, which is a lot better compared to this time last week and really all of last week. A lot of the region in the 20s, and we're not really seeing much wind either, so the wind chill is pretty close to the actual conditions. It honestly feels pretty mild out there compared to where we were. Now, we are still going to be seeing some cold temperatures the next couple of days. This afternoon, we'll continue to see those highs in the 20s. Then as we get to the overnight hours, we will see some temperatures dropping into the single digits, maybe some locations getting close to zero further north. Still better than last week, but obviously still cold. And then tomorrow, we are going to see plenty of sunshine with high temperatures in the lower 20s, so maybe a few degrees colder compared to today, but we're not expecting any bitterly cold temperatures over the next 10 days. In fact, they're actually going to continue to get warmer as we get towards the end of the week. So I'll talk more about that and show you any snow chances this week coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, we'll see you then. Thank you. Stars gathered for the Grammy Awards last night, marking music's biggest evening with memorable performances and awards that made history. Billie Eilish won Song of the Year, Wildflower. Olivia Dean took home Best New Artist, and Kendrick Lamar, now the most winning rapper in Grammy history, alongside SZA, who received Record of the Year. Lamar also making history as the first artist to win Record of the Year consecutively. Another big winner, Bad Bunny, who made history with the first Spanish language album to win Album of the Year.
I want to dedicate this award to all the people that had to leave their homeland, their country, to follow their dreams.
The late Ozzy Osbourne was honored with an all-star tribute led by Post Malone, while Lauryn Hill returned to the Grammy stage for the first time in more than a quarter century to honor Robert Flack. Right now, nominations for Best of Madison are live. You can vote through February 28th for your favorite businesses, TV personalities, restaurants, and more. You can find that link available on channel3000.com. Still ahead for us on News 3 Now at noon. If you have a question or concern about your plants or garden, now's the time to send us your questions via email at tips@channel3000.com. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company will join us later in the broadcast with the answers. But first, after the break, what network NFL Red Zone will soon be heading to, plus how movies finished on the top of the weekend box office.
Ending the partial government shutdown that took effect over the weekend is at the top of the agenda for returning House members today. In interview Sunday, House Speaker Mike Johnson said he believes there are enough votes to approve the Senate-passed spending package by at least Tuesday. The Pentagon, State Department, and Department of Homeland Security are among the agencies affected by the funding lapse. ESPN has finalized its deal to acquire NFL Network, NFL Fantasy, and the rights to Red Zone. The NFL gets a 10% stake in ESPN as part of the deal. In a statement, the two companies said NFL employees will begin integrating into ESPN in the months ahead, though ESPN says viewers are not expected to notice changes until the spring. And horror flicks ruled the box office over the weekend in North America. Send Help took the top spot, scaring up an estimated $20 million, while Iron Lung earned nearly $18 million at number 2. Melania, the documentary profiling First Lady Melania Trump, had a strong debut, coming in third with an estimated $7 million. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
Here's a look at the current stock numbers at the noon hour. The Dow's up 515 points, Nasdaq up 209, and S&P 500 up 47 on the day so far. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob is tracking the first warn forecast. Then later on Live at 4, what's showing at the Overture Center this month. Welcome back. Let's check in now with Pam Jahnke for the Midwest Farm Report. Hi, Pam.
Hi, Josh. Good to be back along with you after a hectic week last week at the Wisconsin Corn Soy Expo. It's fabulous, the biggest corn soy grower event of the calendar year for our Wisconsin farmers. But boy, did we have to cover a lot of turf. Take a look at a couple of the pictures. Good crowds, despite the fact that the message wasn't necessarily all that optimistic as far as prices, farmers still showed up. Nice attendance as far as the general sessions were concerned. We had representation from the National Corn Growers, the American Soybean Association, our pork industry as well, everybody all together. In fact, News 3 had a presence there aside from me, of course. Happy to welcome meteorologist Alex Harrington. He shared his weather insights with some of the farmers in the audience. I think they gave him pretty good feedback, too, about some of the key components weather-wise they look for, especially going into spring. So glad to have Alex along with us. But like I said, the young voice also heard Sam Mells, one of our Wisconsin FFA officers from the DeForest area. We were talking about how important his voice was when it comes to data centers in that neck of the woods. So he was busy on the trade show floor. Just overall a super event and one that I look forward to every year, even if the messages aren't necessarily all that positive. I'm also looking forward to seeing you coming up later this week. A soil health conference hosted by the Jefferson County Soil Builders at the UW Whitewater Community Engagement Center. It starts at 9 in the morning, goes until about 3 in the afternoon, focused in on cover crops, grazing, and it is free and open to farmers that want to attend. Beautiful facility, a wonderful day-long event. I'll be your moderator. If you want to find details, go to Facebook, look for Jefferson County Soil Builders, and you should be able to find the details there. Or you can always send me a note, and I'll make sure I get you what I have as far as the agenda. It should be a full day of details. I can't tell you much as far as markets are concerned. It is another down day today. Every time I refresh the screens, we're looking at lower commodity prices. There had been some conversation about making inroads when it comes to China, trying to make sure that they take delivery on the soybeans they've already purchased. And I use air quotes when I say purchased because that seems to be some of the sticking points. Some of these countries are saying, yes, we're in on the deal, and then they don't take shipment of the product. It basically sits in the United States. That may be some of the undertone, plus potential government shutdown does not make farmers happy either. Dairy markets, pretty quiet today in Chicago. The fluid milk contracts have taken another nosedive, down even more than what you're seeing on the screen. Barrel cheese today is unchanged. 40-pound block cheese is up 2 1/4 at 138.5. Had a big move on Friday, Josh, as far as butter, but today it stands unchanged at $1.58 per pound. So, yeah, wonderful to see everybody last week, including Alex. Like I said, agriculture is a small world, so it turns into a reunion for us in many different ways.
Yeah, big week for you and an exciting morning this morning. Jimmy the Groundhog in Sun Prairie saying early spring. I'm here for it, Yankee. I'm here for it.
Boy, bring it. Bring it.
All right, you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you. Now let's turn now to your certified most accurate forecast with First Warn meteorologist Jacob Montesano. There were a ton of cheers in Sun Prairie as I was out there dark and early this morning, Jacob.
Yeah, I bet. And with the forecast, it's not necessarily going to be spring-like weather, but it certainly will be some of the milder temperatures we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and we're kind of finally out of that bitter cold air, and we're not expecting to see that return. But it is still going to be on the colder side through at least Wednesday, where highs will be in the lower to middle 20s. Then 30s are going to be possible for Thursday and Friday, and for a lot of next week as well. And during all this, not really going to see much precipitation, either snow or rain, because temperatures will be warm enough for some rain to occur at times over the next 10 days. But looking at the forecast for the next couple of days, snowfall-wise, it will only be in the form of snow through Wednesday, but really not going to see much of it. We're seeing some flurries right now, maybe some flurries later this evening, probably not until after sunset with that second round of flurries. But for the most part, we are going to be pretty dry tonight. And then tomorrow, almost certainly going to be dry with plenty of sunshine. At times, you won't even see any clouds in the sky. And then we'll see a little bit more cloud cover develop for Tuesday night and Wednesday, but we're still looking pretty dry during this period. We also will see plenty of sunshine Wednesday, but maybe just a little bit more cloud cover compared to tomorrow. Then as we get towards Wednesday night and Thursday, we'll see more consistent cloud cover move through the area, but we're still not expecting much precipitation. And at this point in time, temperatures may be warm enough to where it could be a little bit of rain and snow, even if we do see precipitation. But looking at the temperatures for the rest of today, we'll continue to be in the middle to lower 20s with a mix of clouds and sun, a little bit more cloudy skies areas to the east. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine for everybody. Temperatures maybe a few degrees cooler, but still pretty similar to yesterday or today, where will still be on the colder side, but better compared to last week. Then as we look at the high temperature trend over the next 10 days, we'll warm up for Thursday and Friday, then cool down briefly for Saturday. And then next week, we could be talking about highs in the middle 30s. And it certainly wouldn't surprise me if we do see some areas getting back into the 40s. And this trend looks to continue as we head towards the middle of February, where we're finally starting to see some above normal temperatures expected for our region. This is the 2-week temperature outlook. Pretty much for the last 3 weeks, it's been very cold for us in terms of the outlook, and now we're finally kind of in that mild trend. Now, looking at the precipitation chances over the next 7 days, this is any snow or rain. Again, we've been seeing those flurries today, not going to see any accumulation. And we may continue to see some flurries tonight. Then our next chance will be Thursday night and Friday. But with those temperatures being right around freezing, we could see a little bit of rain and snow. But also, as you can see, I mean, we're really not going to see much of it in terms of precipitation. Overall, staying pretty dry, at least through early next week. Maybe seeing some more precipitation towards the middle and end of next week, but a lot can still change between now and then. But the bigger story is the fact that we'll see the 30s return, especially for early next work week, where we could see some middle 30s. And we're not going to see those frigid temperatures come back anytime soon. Now, they're bound to show up again at least one point in time. And as you can see, Tuesday night into Wednesday will still be cold, but during that time period, winds will be very calm, so we're not really concerned about the wind chills at all. So those negative 20 to 30 degree wind chills that we saw over the past couple of weeks, they're gone, and hopefully they're gone until next winter.
Yeah, see ya. That's what I have to say. Thanks, Jacob. Ahead at noon, Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. You can email them now to tips@channel3000.com, and we're going to get the answers next. Well, welcome back at noon. Lisa Briggs from the Bruce Company is here answering your plant and garden questions. You can email them to tips@channel3000.com. Hi, Lisa.
Hello.
So what is this? It's super fragrant. I can smell it all the way from my desk.
The whole studio as well. This is a flowering jasmine. It's something that we get this time of year for like Valentine's Day to Easter. And then we get a different type of jasmine in the summer, more of a tree form. The flowers are a little bit beefier, but it is super duper, like uber fragrant.
Like big time.
Yeah, like I could smell it when it was bagged up.
Well, I know I was happy that the calendar flipped over to February. Like we're getting closer, right?
Yeah,
you know,
days are getting longer.
Yes.
It's time, you know, it's brighter in the morning and at the end of the day. And I will say that Groundhog's Day, it doesn't matter whether Jimmy sees a shadow or not, because it's early or 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And both of those things from now put you right at the first day of sort of the equinox spring.
Yep.
And honestly, if we had 6 more weeks of winter from now, that would mean that at the end of March, it would be spring. That would be really early.
Yeah, that's true.
So either way, it works for us.
Sometimes we forget about it, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the questions this afternoon. We're going to start with Deb. Deb says she has an Easter cactus that is not doing well. Is there a way to cut it and start a new plant?
There is actually. Propagating is a tricky thing, but it's pretty easy for the Easter cactuses and most of the cactus. So you're going to want to cut a stem with 3 or 4 petals, and then you're going to put it in, let it dry for a few days, and then put it into a potting medium mixed with sand and keep that moist. Takes about 4 weeks for them to get some roots developed, and then you could go ahead and just grow it from there.
All right.
Yeah.
Question number 2 comes from Terry. Terry asks, does she need to cut her, and how do you say this? Hellebores back in the winter. She still has green leaves.
So Terry, what I do with my hellebores, and it's one of my favorite plants, is I wait till I start to see the flowering start to come. And so I usually cut back my old evergreen leaves after the flowers are done. Those leaves will sometimes insulate the new flowers. Hellebores bloom really early. And so if we have a frost, they can get nipped pretty early. So I just leave those greens and then cut them back after the flowers are done. And then once the flowers are done, new green leaves will come out. So you'll be good.
We got about 45 seconds left. I know that's all the questions we have right now. Anything else that you can think of right now in February for folks to start? I know it's early. But
it is early.
Yes.
So if you have winter fever and you want to grow some seeds, there aren't a ton of things that you can start right now, but you can do like perennial herbs if you want to do like parsley or rosemary or something like that from seed. Any annuals that are really slow to germinate, pansies, that kind of thing. Any perennial seeds that you might want to do, like perennial, like prairie flowers. And as far as veg, you can do bulbing onions now, and you can do all the members of the cabbage family.
Oh, there you go.
But anything else, you're going to want to hold off. You got to wait. Unless you have a greenhouse and are
that's
prepared
true.
to up pot all the time.
Then lucky you.
Yeah, then lucky you.
All right, Lisa, thank you. Appreciate
welcome.
it. Let's go to Jacob now for a final check of the forecast. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, Josh. Pretty quiet conditions going forward for the next 10 days. Not seeing a lot of precipitation, either snow or rain. And it's nice that I can even talk about the possibility of some rain, considering we've been well below freezing for the last couple of weeks. But we may start to see those temperatures getting up into the 30s at times over the next 10 days. Now, the next couple of days will still be cold, especially Tuesday night, but we're not going to be as cold as last week. And the next week will certainly be a lot milder.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Thanks for watching News 3 Now at noon. Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4. And a reminder, you can always find us streaming 24/7 on Channel 3000 Plus. Make it a great afternoon.